Hi there, we're here just doing a little reading on this glorious day now, looking at the tarot cards in relation to dreams and symbols that may come up in your dreams. So I'm here with the wonderful Vaughan, dream analyst extraordinaire, years of experience and knowledge of the tarot cards as well. So they're kind of a good synopsis for the subconscious mind. So there's motifs in the tarot cards that can represent a kind of a state or an energy or a phase or a development that can come up in dreams. So we're looking today at the major arcana cards, all the major arcanas at the moment, which is the chariot card, and the how that has a bearing in relation to motifs that may come up in your dream world. This video is for entertainment purposes only. That's it. Okay.
All right, thank you. And hi, welcome along. Well, we're looking at the chariot card, and it's in relation to, it's about incarnation. It's the point of incarnation, and it's also the astrology sign Cancer, which is home. So you're here, you're home on planet Earth, and the word car is also in the word incarnation. So if you have any dreams about being in a car or about cars in general, pay attention to them, because cars actually represent your drive. They will represent your ego. Without an ego, we can't negotiate life. And a lot of people, downplay the ego, but it has its purpose. Just so, as a symbol, a car has its purpose as well. It takes you from here to there. So the car would depend on the colour of the car, the type of car, if it appears in your dream, and more importantly, where are you in the car? If you're in a back seat, you're not driving your own life. Someone else is driving and you've taken a back seat. Or even if you're on the passenger seat, you're only a passenger, and also you're not driving anything. So it might suggest that you get into the driver's seat and get on with whatever purpose that you can find in the dream. And that is, and of course it has the black and white sphinxes, which is in this life we do have to drive. It's polarity here, and we have to drive between the negative and the positive, the black and the white, constantly. And you're in the reins, or should be, when driving your stroke chariot or car. And well, that's it about cars.
So what if somebody in their dream, it's not a car, let's say it's a tractor or a truck, or they're in a bus or a train, or...
Yeah, that's important. For instance, a car is a more personal, your own personal journey. A van would more like, you mean business. A van is more commercial, so it would relate to maybe money. It would relate to your earnings. It would relate in that way. And a bus would be how you relate to community. What the bus is like. Are there people there? Because the bus is the part you play in community, and how you feel about community and people in general. And a truck, of course. Well, my goodness. Well, a truck is some big force in your dream, big powerful force that's appearing in your dream, and depends on, does it like nearly crash into you, or is it driving along? Are you in the truck? Are you driving the truck? And all these things would be paid attention to in the dream.
So do you think if somebody's dreaming about cars, let's say, like they're moving on as well, because you know in the Chariot,
Yeah.
this archetype can be sudden movement as well. Would it be like an indication to move on, or
Precisely. It's
get going,
get a move on,
get a move on?
continue your journey with your purpose. You may not know what that is yet, but through dreams, I can tell you, they can enlighten you as to your general purpose in life
Right.
and what avenue or road you should be taking.
Okay. So will we? That was just fantastic. Will we pop over to the tower now, because so many people have dreams where they're falling, or
Right.
there's a building, there's something going on with the building, or they're falling down, or they're climbing up, and they're
Yes, the struggles. Well, the of course we all say we fall asleep for a start, and sometimes we do actually have that feeling of floating downwards or falling when we are dropping asleep. Um, but this tower, you see, is a false tower. It's made of bricks. It's not stone. Stone is real from the earth. So it's a false tower, bit like the Tower of Babel, and it's going to be toppled by a bolt of lightning, which is sudden realization from your higher mind that there's something, there's a problem here. And you would be, it's like the false ego that's got too big for its boots, if you like, is going to be toppled. And and it may be some job you liked and you lose it, or some home, or it could be the toppling of something that you had built up and had a belief in or a dream in. I mean, for instance, some people dream of the day when they retire, and they'll save up and save up. That's a bit of a, like, if you like, false tower, because if they're really identifying with their job to the extent where when they retire they don't know what to do and who they are, so it's
and what's the falling in dreams? So many people have dreams where they're falling. You know.
yeah. I really I think it's just a sensation
Within the
Uh,
dream.
within the dream. We've all probably had them, but if you're actually falling, there's a sharp descent about something. Maybe you're about to fall down a hill or something, or something's tripping you up. Um, it depends on other aspects in the dream what's making you
The
fall.
context, yes, because you can have a dream you're falling and suddenly you learn how to fly, so that's all very pleasant.
Yeah.
But in relation to this, there's the crown, there's the fire, there is the rock, the brick, and they're falling. A sudden drastic change. Yeah. So, yeah, people dreaming about buildings and falling from buildings.
Yeah. Something that you've erected and built up, which is is the structure of the earth, and especially if it's made of bricks. But the crown is a false crown, that you think that you are the one, that you're at top of your game, you're the one who can play this all by yourself, or you identify wrongly with something. Maybe your position of some description that you have, which is top of something that you've reached, and that's your false crown, in a sense.
So, do you think again it indicates time for change as well? It has an
Oh,
aspect
absolutely.
of change.
And you could have this dream before the change occurs, because dreams are there all the time to guide us and to warn us ahead of time. So you would look at other aspects and you would see how you've reacted and what your attitude is that's going to lead you towards a fall.
Right. So will we quickly here just look at the Fool, because the Fool is the zero in the major arcana. It is the beginning, the journey, the hero's journey, etc. And that was the crazy hand coming in just there, bouncing the table. So
The Fool is the pause. The Fool is the now. The zero.
the 0 point.
The 0 point where many people today are recognizing that we could be, should be, or might likely to be better off if we lived in the now. And there's a lot of discussion about mindfulness, and that's pretty close to the Fool. Now he has his belongings, not much on a staff, and wizards have a staff as well, or it could be like the wands. In other words, the wands is more the staff on the wands, for instance, the cards is like your energy, your passion, where you're going to stake your passion in your life, and he's carrying it on his shoulder, ready to put it somewhere. And he has the dog with him, and that's his natural instincts, because the Fool is going to trust completely on his intuition and just step off the cliff. And notice the sun is never at its height. The sun is either, it's never at its height in this card, because he's always moving. And
Going off on the journey.
Yeah.
This.
That's it, and requires trust. It's asking you to trust. Trust in perhaps there's something you've been dreaming about, or it shows up. Trust in the right.
So if you were
step.
dreaming a lot about, say, you were on a journey, if you were dreaming a lot about dogs, packing your knapsack, packing stuff,
Yeah.
your suitcase, you're planning to head off, do you think that would indicate like a new archetypal phase?
It could, yeah, absolutely. I do know someone who finally, after years of being trying to get over somebody, she had a dream that she was packing his suitcase. That meant that really and truly and finally she was finished. And that's where the subconscious comes in. That's it. And another person had a dream. They had some troublesome neighbours, and they dreamt that they were packing the neighbours' suitcases, which means that it's not going to bother her anymore, and maybe it will work out, actually, physically, and they may disappear. But for her,
And she won't be carrying the baggage.
that's right. It won't be annoying her. It's as if they have never existed. She'll have sent them packing in her dream, and the dream is saying you're sending them packing, and here's the suitcase. Yeah, so
A good resolution. Yeah.
yeah.
So this is the last one we're going to do, which is the Temperance. It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, it's also called the probation card, and it's your higher self or your angel, and is permanently working with you, because your higher self also depends on you and how this journey goes for you, because you're a part of this angel stroke higher self. And I do remember once someone explaining this card very well when they were asked, why is it that romance or falling in love is always so painful? And they likened it to making a sword. How do you make a sword? You temper it. So that's why it's called temperance. So it's making a sword from out of you, and the sword in tarot is actually represents the mind, the mental plane, and it has to be beaten, it has to be heated up, red hot, has to be dipped in cold water, and shaped and shaped. And of course, if you think about it, we've all been through things like that. So, in that sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
If people, as well, some of the motifs, I mean, that's great. Dream of, say, as well, in addition, angels, winged people coming to help them, or beautiful landscapes with, ethereal beings, you know, etc., or cups or chalices, if those kind of motifs as well come up in a dream. Higher self, is it?
Yes, they all have to do with the next stage of higher self and communication with your higher self, which is
Yeah.
always good actually.
Yeah.
It means you are in communication. I don't like to call it actually higher self. It suggests a hierarchy. I like to call it your greater self. Yeah. Larger, greater self.
Yeah.
And you are within that greater self.
Very good. Well, yeah, I mean, look, we could spend a huge amount of time
Yep.
on each of the. This is just a quick one today. And, we might go through another four another time. And then in another point in the future, sit down and have a nice, long, slow cup of tea and just go through quite a few of
Yes.
them in a more intuitive way. But for the moment, we're actually.
Well, we started on vehicles, and we didn't mention bicycles. So, like your bicycle, it's got a cycle. You're in a certain cycle, but if you are on a bicycle, it means that you're individuating. You're becoming an individual yourself, and you're on pedal power because you're going to. It requires your whole body to pedal bicycle, so you will be independent. It's a way of pushing towards personal independence. Not I'm not talking about financial independence, so that would help as well if it happens. But that's it really, the bicycle one.
Yeah. No, we can come back to these another time in greater depth, and do a longer one. This was really just an introduction to some of the symbols and archetypes in the major arcana that turn up in the dreams. So listen, thanks so much for that. We'll do another one. Dream, tarot dream stuff, and we can keep it going and extend it out. Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's an exciting journey getting to know yourself.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, thanks for that. Bye.